Do you remember when Christmas meant the smell of pies your grandmother made from scratch? Recipes passed down for generations that nobody makes anymore. Today we're exploring 30 forgotten Christmas pies that only your grandparents knew how to make. These weren't just desserts, they were traditions, each one telling a story of its time. Some born from abundance, others from scarcity, all of them disappearing as America changed.
Do you remember that dark, mysterious pie your grandmother would only make at Christmas? The one that smelled like brandy and spices so strong they filled the entire house? Mincemeat pie was the adult's pie. Grandma would open that dark green jar of none such mincemeat on Christmas Eve. The smell hit you immediately. Candied fruits, raisins soaked in brandy, and yes, actual beef suet. She'd add fresh chopped apples, a generous splash of rum, let it sit overnight. When she cut the first slice, steam rose, carrying decades of tradition. In 1940, Borden's sold 12 million jars yearly at 35 cents each, about $6 today. By the 1960s, people rejected animal fat in desserts, and that complex, boozy flavor didn't appeal to kids. That rich, sacred tradition vanished completely. You'd swear it was apple pie when you looked at it, golden, cinnamon-dusted, perfect. But one bite told a different story. Late September, first frost threatening, Grandpa picked every green tomato off the vine, hard as rocks. Grandma sliced them thin, just like apples, layering them with sugar, cinnamon, nutmeg, and butter dots. Waste not, want not, she'd say. 3 months later at Christmas, that same recipe appeared on the table. Church cookbooks from the 1940s included this recipe 78% of the time. It cost just 12 cents to make in 1935, about $2.70 today. Post-war prosperity meant no more creative substitutes, and honestly, tomato in dessert started sounding wrong to newer generations. That clever, resourceful tradition disappeared completely.
Can you imagine serving your family pie made with vinegar and having them ask for seconds? The war was on. Lemons cost 75 cents each, $13 today. Grandma grabbed her homemade apple cider vinegar, mixed it with eggs, sugar, melted butter, and nutmeg. "Trust me," she said when the kids wrinkled their noses. In the oven, magic happened. That suspicious liquid transformed into golden filling that tasted like lemon pie. The tartness, the sweetness, everything was there. This pie cost only 18 cents total in 1943, about $3 today. Once the 1950s brought lemons back to every store, nobody looked back at that wartime substitute. That resourceful, ingenious tradition vanished completely. Remember opening that red Sun-Maid box and the smell of those plump raisins hitting the hot sugar syrup? Grandma bought it from the local store. 2 cups of raisins simmered with water, brown sugar, cinnamon stick, and orange zest until they swelled up, absorbing all that sugary liquid. A spoonful of vinegar at the end cut the sweetness. When she poured it into the crust, still bubbling, that filling was dense as jam. In 1940, raisins were the 3rd most common pie ingredient in America. A Sun-Maid box cost 15 cents in 1945, about $2.70 today. By the 1960s, baby boomers rejected raisins in any form, and that sticky, sweet winter comfort disappeared completely. This was the pie Grandma saved for New Year's Eve, the one with ingredients so expensive she'd start preparing days in advance. French candied chestnuts, marron glacé, chopped fine with colorful candied fruits, everything macerated in dark rum. She made enriched cream with egg yolks, added gelatin, then folded in hand-whipped heavy cream. 15 minutes of arm work. When she unmolded it, the result was pure elegance. In the 1950s, ingredients cost $3.50, about $40 today. Delmonico's restaurant in New York charged $1.25 per slice, $15 in today's money. By the 1970s, candied chestnuts vanished from American stores, and that multi-day process intimidated everyone. That expensive, glamorous tradition disappeared completely. Kentucky's secret weapon was a pie so simple it seemed impossible. You could actually see through parts of it. Grandma mixed melted butter, sugar, eggs, a touch of vinegar, and vanilla in one bowl, poured it straight into raw crust. "Don't overthink it," she'd say. In the oven, magic happened. That liquid separated into 3 distinct layers: cream on bottom, gel in middle, caramelized crust on top. When you cut it, the center trembled slightly, looking underdone but tasting perfect. It cost only 35 cents to make in 1950, about $4.50 today. By the 1960s, chess pie overshadowed it nationally, and that simple name, transparent, never caught on beyond Kentucky borders. That honest, glassy tradition disappeared completely. Remember when making coconut pie meant Grandpa's smashing at actual coconut on the garage floor? He'd pierce the 3 eyes with a nail and hammer. You drank that fresh water first, never wasted anything. Then he'd crack it on concrete, the only place allowed. Grandma spent hours grating that white coconut on a hand grater, fingers aching, but she didn't stop. That fresh coconut went straight into the still hot cream. She toasted half in the oven until golden. The entire house smelled like tropical paradise. Whole coconuts cost 15 to 25 cents in 1940, $3 to $5 today. Processing one took 45 minutes versus 30 seconds opening Baker's Angel Flake. That labor-intensive tropical tradition disappeared completely. Thursday was butter-making day. Friday, Grandma made buttermilk pie with the precious liquid left over. She churned cream in a glass jar until butter separated. That liquid gold was real buttermilk, not that cultured supermarket stuff. She mixed it with eggs, sugar, melted butter, flour, vanilla, and nutmeg. Simple. Poured it into crust, baked until the center trembled slightly. That pie was pure South. Humble, efficient, delicious. In the 1930s, 76% of American farms made homemade butter, producing buttermilk as byproduct. It cost virtually nothing, maybe 10 cents in 1935, about $2.20 today. By the 1960s, homemade butter production ended, and real buttermilk's tangy Southern tradition disappeared completely. Remember that tin of Brer Rabbit molasses with the rabbit on the label? Dark molasses so strong it almost smelled medicinal. Grandma always grabbed dark, never light. Only dark works, she'd explain. She mixed it with boiling water and baking soda that foamed up, plus egg. Poured it into crust. On top, that crumb made of flour, brown sugar, butter, rubbed between fingers until it looked like gravel. The kitchen smelt like an Amish farm when it baked. Served warm with strong black coffee, one slice was a complete breakfast. It cost about 40 cents in 1945, $6.50 today. By the 1970s, molasses fell out of favor, and that flavor was too intense for modern palates. That dark, honest Amish tradition disappeared completely. When someone died in the community, the women automatically knew what to make. This pie was mandatory. Funeral pie was required. Durable, needed no refrigeration, could be made in huge quantities. Grandma cooked 2 pounds of raisins with water, sugar, whole lemon zest, juice from 3 lemons, thickened it slightly with cornstarch, poured into simple crust, baked, then cut into small squares, not slices. This was meant to be shared, not to impress. Functional but made with respect. It lasted 3 days without refrigeration, critical before electric iceboxes. Each wake had 10 to 15 of these pies. Cost about 50 cents in 1940, $8 today. By the 1960s, funerals moved from homes to funeral parlors with professional catering. That somber, communal tradition disappeared completely. Indiana's official state pie. Grandma called it finger pie because you literally mixed it with your hands. Heavy cream, sugar, flour, vanilla went straight into the raw crust. She spread it with her hands, making sure coverage was even. Dots of butter on top, cinnamon powder sprinkled generously. Baked until it bubbled at the edges. The cream thickened in the oven, becoming something between custard and pudding. Served warm, each bite was pure comfort. Simple, honest, soothing. In Indiana, every grandma had the recipe. It cost just 45 cents in 1955, $5.50 today. By the 1970s, year-round fruit eliminated the need, and pure cream didn't survive the low-fat era. That creamy Indiana tradition disappeared completely. Part brownie, part pie, part custard, Kentucky's secret that nobody outside the South ever heard of. Grandma toasted pecans, never English walnuts, always Southern pecans. Chopped them coarse. Fat raisins soaked in bourbon overnight. Next day, she beat brown sugar, egg yolks, melted butter, vinegar, her secret, vanilla, cinnamon, cloves. Added nuts and raisins. Egg whites beaten to stiff peaks, folded in last. Baked until it formed a crust on top but stayed moist inside. Impossible to categorize. Served in thin slices because it was too rich for more. Cost $1.20 in 1945, $19 today because pecans were expensive. By the 1970s, that complex recipe intimidated everyone, and the name meant nothing outside the region. That rich, complex Southern secret disappeared completely. Real marshmallow, made from scratch, not those Kraft jet-puffed squares. This was art. Grandma saved this for New Year's Eve. She roasted Beauregard sweet potatoes the day before. While they cooled, she made marshmallow from scratch. Sugar syrup boiled to softball stage, tested in cold water, dissolved gelatin, everything beaten until it became a white cloud. Spread over the still hot sweet potato filling. Used a kitchen torch to lightly brown it, those golden peaks still soft, nothing like store-bought. In the 1950s, 82% of sweet potato pie recipes included marshmallow topping. Making it from scratch took 45 to 60 minutes extra. Cost 95 cents in 1950, $12 today. By the 1960s, Kraft marshmallows became universal, and that fluffy, labor-intensive tradition disappeared completely. Late August, those small purple plums from Grandpa's tree so sour raw they made your face pucker. He picked damsons from the old tree in the yard, small and purple, practically too sour to eat fresh. Grandma took pounds of them, cut them in half, removed pits one by one,
hours of work. Cooked with sugar until it formed thick syrup, the color of red wine. That sharp, almost medicinal smell filled the house. Poured still hot into crust. When she cut it, the filling was dense, intense. A small slice was enough, nothing sweet or mild like modern pies. This was robust, honest, real. Preparing them took 2 to 3 hours, mostly removing pits. By the 1970s, commercial farms stopped cultivation due to low demand. That intense, winey tradition disappeared completely.
Grandma wore gloves to pick them. The bushes had wild thorns, and the berries were covered in tiny hairs. Green berries the size of small grapes covered in fuzz. She cut the tops and tails with scissors. Took forever. Cooked with an absurd amount of sugar. They need it, she assured. That jade green filling was unique. No other pie had that color. The tartness cut through the sweetness. Refreshing, almost citrus-like. In 1940, gooseberries were the 4th most common fruit on farms. Preparing them took 1 to 2 hours for enough berries. When the government banned gooseberries in 1911 for spreading white pine blister rust, Grandma's tree was ripped out. That tart green tradition was literally outlawed and disappeared completely. August, Grandpa and Uncle went out with buckets to the fence line, hours picking those tiny berries from wild clusters. They spent hours collecting elderberries along the farm fence, those tiny berries from the clusters. Grandma cooked them with sugar, lemon juice, and, crucial, chopped green apples for natural pectin. The filling turned thick, deep red wine color. Don't eat the stems, she warned, toxic. Berries were safe, but you had to know. Knowledge passed generation to generation. The flavor was wild, untamed, not like domesticated fruits. She served it with heavy whipped cream to soften the intensity. Collecting took 2 to 3 hours for enough berries, about 4 to 5 cups. By the 1960s, urbanization meant loss of access to wild elderberries, and that wild forage tradition disappeared completely. This was the adults-only pie. Kids were set out of the room. Grandma saved this for fancy dinner parties. Started with custard and double boiler, stirring constantly. Half became chocolate, bitter, dark. She melted real Hershey's baking chocolate, not chips. Other half got generous dark rum, Myers or Captain Morgan. Layers assembled in specific order. On top, hand-whipped cream beaten until it formed peaks. Final decoration, grated chocolate. When she cut it at the table, guests always gasped. 3 perfect layers. Elegant, glamorous, adult. Created in the 1920s, mentioned in Joy of Cooking in 1931. Cost $1.80 in 1950, $22 today. By the 1970s, formal dinner parties became less common, and that sophisticated 3-layer showpiece disappeared completely. That neon green color? Artificial, sure, but in 1965, that was the whole point. Modern, cool, sophisticated. Grandma made this at the height of summer, refreshing, elegant. Neon green creme de menthe, Leroux was the common brand, creme de cacao, melted marshmallows, whipped cream folded delicately. The color was artificial, almost neon, but that was the charm. Poured into chocolate wafer crust, Nabisco famous chocolate wafers crushed. Froze overnight, cut with a hot knife, sliced clean. The flavor was adult mint chocolate, not like junior mints. Sophisticated, cool. A bottle of Leroux creme de menthe cost $3.50 in 1965, $35 today. By the 1980s, cocktail culture declined, and that neon green cocktail tradition disappeared completely.
Grandpa picked those green balls the size of baseballs, wore thick gloves because the holes stained everything permanently brown. He harvested black walnuts in fall, let them cure for weeks in the garage until the hull rotted off, then cracked them with a hammer. Shell was incredibly hard. Grandma spent hours extracting tiny nut meats, Herculean work for half a cup of nuts. But the flavor, incomparable, rich, intense, wild. She mixed it with brown sugar, dark corn syrup, eggs, butter, baked. The result was like pecan pie, but with wild, untamed personality. In 1950, 34% of American farms had black walnut trees. Processing them took 4 to 6 hours for 1 cup. By the 1970s, convenient pecans took over, and that wild, intense tradition disappeared completely. Rarest of the rare, Grandma spent an entire afternoon for 1 single cup of nut meats. Those nuts were liquid gold. Hickory trees were common on Grandpa's property. Fall, he collected fallen nuts. The shell was even harder than black walnuts. Used a vise in the workshop to crack them. Grandma picked out tiny bits of nut meat with a dental pick. Meticulous, tedious. 1 afternoon for a single cup. Those nuts were pure gold. She made pie only once a year, Christmas. Recipes similar to pecan pie, but the flavor was different, more delicate, almost floral. Anyone who ate it knew they were experiencing something rare, special, almost extinct. Collection and processing took 6 to 8 hours for 1 cup. By the 1960s, pecan pie completely replaced it, and that delicate, rare tradition disappeared completely.
Twice a week, the ice delivery man brought a 25-pound block. That's how Grandma kept food cold before electric refrigerators. He left it in the wooden icebox on the porch. Inside, temperature barely reached 40 degrees Fahrenheit. But it worked. Grandma dissolved Knox gelatin in hot water, added fresh squeezed lemon juice, zest, sugar, beaten yolks, poured into graham cracker crust, put it in the icebox. Hours later, it was firm, not baked, just gelled. Flavor was bright, refreshing, perfect summer dessert when you didn't want the oven on. In 1940, only 44% of homes had electric refrigerators. Knox gelatin cost 10 cents per envelope, $1.60 today. When electric refrigerators arrived, that jiggly, ice-dependent tradition disappeared completely. Those little Jell-O boxes in red, yellow, green, marketing promised no bake and modern, space-age easy. Grandma bought those Jell-O cheesecake flavor boxes. She beat Philadelphia cream cheese, only that brand worked, added Jell-O powder, cold milk, beat until fluffy. Cool Whip folded in. Yeah, Cool Whip, launched in 1967. Poured into graham cracker crust. Refrigerator. 2 hours later, done. The flavor was artificial, but it was modern, space-age, convenient. She served it with canned fruit topping. Guests thought it was chic because it was new. Cost $1.20 in 1970, $9 today. 15 minutes prep versus 4+ hours for traditional cheesecake. By the 1980s, Americans decided real was better than fast, and that space-age convenience disappeared completely.
Depression was at its worst. No eggs, no milk, just water, sugar, and hope that chemistry would work. Grandma took water, sugar, a spoonful of flour, homemade vanilla,
The only extravagance allowed. Dots of butter. Mixed it right in the raw crust. "It'll work," she said with doubt in her voice. In the oven, something chemical happened. That liquid separated, formed layers, caramelized on top. When it came out, it seemed impossible. Firm, sweet, edible. This was survival transformed into dessert. Cost only 3 cents in 1935, 65 cents today. The cheapest possible dessert. Nobody talked about making water pie after times improved. It was silent shame, a memory of when they had nothing. That desperate, shameful recipe disappeared completely. Ritz crackers. Breaking them into pieces, watching them turn into something that looked like apple slices. Make-believe in a pie crust. Grandma broke Ritz crackers into pieces, 2 full sleeves. Simple syrup, water, sugar, cream of tartar, lemon juice. Poured over the crackers in the crust. Heavy cinnamon, dots of butter. Topped with crust. In the oven, the crackers absorbed the liquid, expanded, softened. When she cut it, it looked like apple pie. The texture was there. If you didn't know, you might believe it. But you knew. It was a substitute. It was pretend. But in 1936, pretend fed the family. Ritz cost 19 cents per box, $4.20 today. By the 1950s, apples became cheap year-round, and that make-believe tradition disappeared completely.
Saltines, those square salty crackers that lasted forever in the pantry, transformed into something vaguely sweet. Grandma broke saltines, those little salty squares. Vinegar syrup with sugar and spices. The crackers absorbed and swelled. The texture was strange, not apple, not any identifiable fruit, but it was sweet. It was pie. It was something special when special was rare. She cut small slices, served with coffee. Nobody complained. It was depression. You ate what you had, and you were grateful. Her generation never, ever wasted food after that. Trauma of having nothing became a lifetime habit. Saltines cost 10 cents per box in 1935, $2.20 today. Cheaper than Ritz version. It literally was never good. That desperate, salty experiment disappeared completely. Carrots from Grandpa's garden. Long, orange bright, cooked until soft. Mashed until they became something unrecognizable. Grandma cooked them until completely soft. Mashed with a fork until smooth. Added same spices as pumpkin pie, cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger. Eggs, cream, brown sugar. "Taste it," she commanded. You couldn't identify it as carrot. It seemed like slightly sweeter pumpkin pie. At Depression Thanksgiving, when pumpkins were scarce or expensive, carrot pie saved the tradition. Nobody complained. Nobody knew. Cost just 8 cents in 1935, $2.20 today. Cheaper than Ritz version. It literally was never good. That desperate, salty experiment disappeared completely.
Grandma dug parsnips after the first frost. Crucial, she said, because the cold converted starch to sugar. She cooked them slow until they practically became puree on their own. Passed through fine sieve, no pieces allowed. Mixed with thick cream, less sugar than pumpkin pie because parsnips were already sweet, light spices. The filling was almost white, baked until it formed golden crusts at edges. The flavor confused everyone. sweet but unidentifiable. "What is this?" they asked. She smiled. Her secret. This was colonial America's original, dating back to the 1700s, before pumpkins took over. Cost just 5 cents in 1935, $1.10 today. By the 1800s, pumpkins became easier to grow, and that timing, that technique, that whole colonial secret disappeared completely. Grandma grated apples on that metal box grater, the one that scratched your knuckles if you weren't careful. She used Pippin or Northern Spy apples, grated them until they became fine paste, almost like puree. Beat yolks until they were bright yellow, added fresh lemon juice, never bottled, zest, sugar, and that apple paste. The filling went into crust in a thin layer, baked until it formed a lightly golden surface. When cooled, it was firm but trembled gently when you cut it. Nothing like common apple pie. One of America's oldest pies from the 1600s, from Massachusetts. Fanny Farmer included it in her 1896 cookbook. Cost 45 cents in 1940, $8.50 today. By the 1950s, common apple pie became too American to vary, and that refined New England variation disappeared completely. Two pies in one. Grandma insisted on explaining every single time. Yellow layer bottom, dark layer top, crumb on top of that. First, she poured lemon custard filling, yolks, lemon juice, zest, sugar. Then on top, she poured dark molasses mixture with egg and spices. Last, covered with flour butter crumb. In the oven, the layers magically separated. When she cut it, you saw 3 distinct layers. Flavor confused, sweet, sour, bitter, all together, unique. Nobody today makes anything like it. From Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, mentioned in cookbooks since the 1890s. Cost 75 cents in 1950, $9.50 today. By the 1950s, complexity intimidated new generations, and the name meant nothing outside one Pennsylvania county. That 3-layer Montgomery mystery disappeared completely. Dates in blocks, sticky and pressed together. Grandma chopped them while heavy cream heated on the stove. She chopped medjool dates from the local store, those sticky blocks. Heavy cream, not that light stuff today. Brown sugar, yolks beaten until pale, spices ground fresh. Everything cooked in double boiler, stirring constantly to prevent curdling. Dates partially melted, creating pockets of concentrated sweetness. Poured into pre-baked crust, still hot. When cooled, it was firm but silky. A small slice was enough, too rich for large portions. From the South, appeared in 65% of Southern cookbooks published 1930-1960. Cost 85 cents in 1945, $14 today. By the 1970s, the name became politically problematic, and that rich, controversial Southern tradition disappeared completely.